Hello and welcome back to our Fm22 Journeyman, where we attempt to go from non-league football to winning the Champions League. We are back today with Manchester City and we have got two important games in the season. We've got our semi-final in the FA Cup against Leicester City, and then we're going to also be showing the match against Watford, which is one of our final 5 games in the league. So with a potential 15 points left in the league table itself looks like this. We are currently 7 points outside of those European places. We could still qualify for the Europa League. It's going to, I think, come right down to the wire. We do still play Everton and Arsenal, who are both fractionally above us in the last 5 games of the season, so it's still all to play for, and we could finally see some sort of rebuild early on here with Manchester City. But we are going to jump straight into that match against Leicester today in the semi-final. This is the lineup we are going to be using for that one. We've got Ederson in goal. We've got our back four of Kruger, Malacio, Rice and Alexander-Arnold. I'll explain that one in a minute. Midfield is De Bruyne and Foden. We've then got Sterling, Almada, Adeyemi and Silva, our front four there. The reason we've got Rice in midfield today is due to suspensions. We've got Ruben Diaz, who's suspended for this match, as is Aymeric Laporte. So Declan Rice, as he is capable of playing in that position, is going to be playing in that position. He's obviously good at tackling. He is good in the air as well. He's going to be a nice sort of fill-in at that centre-back position today. Due to our suspensions, I've accidentally double-clicked that. Let's not give the team the complete silent treatment before a semi-final. We have come into this in decent form as well. Hopefully, we can get ourselves into the final today. Fingers crossed. I feel like we need a little bit of silverware to sort of take the edge off of what has been a bad season, really, if you are a Man City supporter. If you do enjoy today's episode and you are enjoying the series, of course, please do hit like down below. Hit the subscribe button as well. We are trying to get to 100 subscribers. Anyone joining us would be very, very welcome, and there's lots of content for you to have a look at on the channel. First highlight of the game then is us with a goal kick. De Bruyne now over to Malacio. De Bruyne playing as a ball-winning midfielder today. We are playing with a ball-winning midfielder, but realistically, the only person we've actually got who's capable of playing there is Declan Rice. We probably need to rectify that in the summer, because realistically we can't be playing there with only one player available. It would mean realistic we'd have to change our formation every time Rice isn't able to play there, like today. I mean, we've got De Bruyne there because it's De Bruyne. That was audacious there from Almada. We've got De Bruyne there because it's De Bruyne and he's kind of good at everything, but he's not really ideal. He's definitely more an attacking player. Luckily, his positioning and all of that stuff as a good attacking player is decent. Adeyemi here. Adeyemi through on goal. It was so close to a goal. It doesn't come to anything. We do seem to have built into the game, though. We had a little bit of a slow start there. Leicester seemed to be getting a decent amount of the ball, but now, as I say that, Leicester obviously going for the shot. Great save by Ederson, though. Really, really good save. Important save from our goalkeeper there. Sort of looking ahead, talking about the summer, it's another really good save for Ederson. I don't really know what we want to buy yet. I kind of feel like we need another goalkeeper. Ederson, as we can see today, perfectly capable in between the sticks, but I don't feel like we had a lot of backup to him. I'm not sure if we get a backup or if we kind of stick with the fact we've got Johnny White and he's a championship level player but with huge bags of potential, so we kind of stick with him with a hope that if we did need to put another goalkeeper in there because Ederson was suspended, injured, something like that, then we would still be fairly secure. Wouldn't be ideal, but we'd be doable. Alexander-Arnold now, he has slung that one into the box. The referee has blown his whistle, which does seem to indicate, are we going to VAR for a potential penalty shout? We are checking a penalty review. I'm not entirely sure what happened. The penalty's been awarded, though. It looks like it's just a bit of a push from Castagna, but Adeyemi can convert this one. Then we will go 1-0 up in the semi-final. He does convert this one. We do go 1-0 up in the semi-final against Leicester City. That is exactly what we do want. I would prefer to do it from open play as always, but we'll take a penalty. We'll take it however we can get it in this series, because It would be as well, if we get the FA Cup, potentially like our first major bit of silverware. Obviously, we'd only just got into the Premier League, so we've only been playing at this level for one season of the save now. Well, not even one season, because the season obviously not quite finished yet. But it would be definitely a first major bit of silverware. Jacob Kruger's just got injured. That's not ideal, but we have got Tariq Lamptey, so we're going to bring Tariq Lamptey over there. We still don't have the best squad depth in the world, so injuries definitely worried me a little bit. Raheem Sterling's just got a yellow card as well. We'll tell him to ease off of those tackles. We don't want another player having to go off, this time via a referee's decision. And Leicester looking to play from the back here, but Sterling has managed to steal that ball. He seems to do that a lot. Adeyemi now with a header. It looks like it's going back to the referee for potential offside. I really hope it isn't, because that was a bullet of a header, and it would be fantastic for that one to count just because of the quality of the header. The goal has been awarded. We're 2-0 up. Have a look at this one. Sterling absolutely making that goal, nicks it off of Castagna, then turns him twice. Adeyemi, oh, it's not a header. It was with his left foot. Ignore me completely. It wasn't a header at all. That will explain why it was such a bullet of a header, because it wasn't even a header. Adeyemi's now got 2 today. We are starting to get some tired legs though. We are into the last 15 minutes of the match, so we can start to look at some substitutions. I think Alexander Isak could probably come on for Sterling. Sterling having a fantastic match, but I don't want him to get too tired and then get injured. And I think as well, let's bring on Svetkovic. He has a name. I'm not entirely aware of what it is, but he has some really good potential. He's a player we've signed this season, so we're trying to give him some game time when we can. And this is the reason why he's rewarded us here with his first goal for Manchester City. 3-0 now to us against Leicester. And that is job done, you'd imagine. Set piece here, corner from De Bruyne. It's nodded across the goal mouth by Malacio for Sevkovic just to tap home. It's a nice easy first goal for him. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. The fans obviously appreciate that, and it's good just to get these young players some game time, because I don't think we're going to always be able to afford to spend loads and loads of money. And we're so far in the future now with our reputation. Some of the players are very expensive. We were having a look in January for a centre back just to get a semi-reasonable sort of 2.5 to 3 star centre back. We were looking at anything in the region of about 80 to 100 million pound, which is a little bit mad. We can't spend all that money all the time, so we do need to start bringing through some of our own players as well. We're still not ending this match. We've got about a minute left. We're 3-0 up. Doesn't matter, we're on the ball. Are we going to go for a fourth? Lamptey surging forward here. Through to Fabio Silva, first time back to Isak. Isak now, can he get it into the box? He can't, but it's back to Lamptey, to Foden now. Back over to Lamptey. I think that's Foden again. Can Lamptey get a cross in? No, we're just going to sort of dance around on the edge of the box now. This is how we waste the last minute, is it? We're just going to kind of pass it around the box until the referee gets annoyed or bored enough. But instead, it is launched into the head of Isak. Can't quite get it on target. Is a little bit unfortunate for him. He did score 2 goals in the last game off camera as well, when we needed to play him up front, because Fabio Silva was looking a little bit tired, a little bit worse for wear. Isak came in and did a really good job, so he's a nice one to have on the bench again. We have reached the final, of course. We'll probably see in a second who've reached the other final. I don't know if that one's been played yet. It doesn't look like it, because this is Premier League. Arsenal and Everton both winning is a little bit of a kick in the teeth for us, because we could do with them starting to lose. But West Ham losing against Everton, so that does give us at least one team we can climb above in the next match, which is quite nice. Jacob Kruger's injury, 5 to 6 weeks. That's an annoying one, because again, we don't have the biggest squad depth. We are going to face Aston Villa in the cup final though. That looks like, and you would think, a very achievable win. Aston Villa down in 15th in the Premier League. We're in some good form. I'd hope that's going to be our first bit of silverware. Whether it will or not is a different story. But for now, we're going to play through the next match against Manchester United, because we've only just very recently seen a match against them. We're going to have a look at a match against Watford, which will take us one step further to the end of the season. And this is the lineup we're going to be using for that match against Watford. We've got Ederson in goal, a back four of Mendy, Laporte, Milacio and Lamperty. We then got Rice and Foden in midfield. Sterling, De Bruyne and Adeyemi behind Fabio Silva. As you can see, our team in terms of fitness still in ruins. We have just lost 2-1 to Man United as well, which is not exactly a fantastic result, and that does mean that in the league we have now not really got a lot of games left to make up that sort of ground we need to make up on Arsenal and on Everton. It's less than an ideal situation, and it is looking very, very unlikely at the moment that we are going to be qualifying for that international continental football that we did want this season, and we have promised the players and the board. I feel like we are very, very unlikely to get that now unless something goes drastically wrong for the other teams involved. I mean, if I change, let's change this to the league table, shall we? There we go. If we're having a look at the league table, we're playing our 35th game. Arsenal are still above us, and they are going to have 2 games in hand on us. Leicester above us, Everton above us as well. I think we just kind of need now to resign ourselves to the fact that this season it's not going to be the one. It's going to be a bit of a write-off, but we have definitely been in better form since we got here than Man City were before we got here. So hopefully that means we can bring some sort of success next season. Hopefully we can be challenging to get us back into the Champions League. This is going to be 2 seasons without European football for Man City, unless we pull an absolute amazing set of results out of the bag here. There's no way we're getting European football, and that would be 2 seasons. For a team like Man City not to have European football for 2 seasons, I think is like unthinkable. Can you imagine if that happened right now in real life? Guardiola would obviously be gone. You'd have a new manager come in. The absolute shambles that it would be in order for that to happen. And I still can't really put my finger on exactly what did happen with Man City in order for them to sort of have this bit of collapse. Fabio Silva is very, very deep there, playing it forward up the pitch, but realistically it should be him going to get it. He's maybe a little bit too deep there. Sterling once again nicking the ball over on that left wing. De Bruyne shot into the top corner, but it does look like we are going to be going over to the little man in the referee's ear for a goal check. The goal is disallowed on this occasion. That's unfortunate because it was a really, really good goal. Sterling actually nicking that ball again there. Oh, it was offside. Nicking that ball again there. He does that really, really consistency. I'm really, really happy he signed a new contract so we can continue having him do things like that, because he seems like he's going to be able to go for a good while longer yet. And obviously a bit of a legend over at Manchester City, albeit that he came from Liverpool originally. He's won bags of stuff and scored bags of goals over at Manchester City and is pretty much omnipresent over there for the last few seasons. I think it'd be nice to have him for a couple more yet as well. Hopefully he can bring some success to this club again. In the FA Cup final would be good, if nowhere else, because right now in the league we're not exactly looking very dominant against Watford. They've just managed to draw a corner out of us. Ederson making a good save. Corner for Watford now. Where has all our attacking emphasis gone, though? We have been walking over teams for the last few games, and all of a sudden, we don't seem to be able to do anything against Watford, which is a little bit concerning. You'd hope a team against Watford, a team like against the likes of Watford, we should be winning this one fairly easily. Instead of that one, we seem to be making it a very, very difficult task again. Foden there to block that one. We've not really got a lot of the game left here. Not a huge amount. Another free kick here for Watford, setting us off in this highlight, and off they go again down the field. We're not really pressing them as much as I'd like. We're not really offering enough attacking sort of emphasis, not as much as I'd like. We kind of used up our goals against Leicester City again, it looks like. We're now 1-0 down against Watford. We seem to keep seeming to do this, where we score a load of goals against one team, but then the next team, I don't know if it's tiredness, I don't know if it's fatigue in the team. Maybe we're not able to rotate enough. I think that's part of the problem. In an ideal world, we lose no players this summer. I know we're going to lose some of them. We're going to lose Amric Laporte, we already know is going. Mendy, we know is going already as well. Frimpong over on the right-hand side is going as well. So we know those guys are going to be going. But if we could keep the other players we've got and then add to them as well, I think our squad depth might be a little bit better. It might give us a little bit more chance of rotating, and when we do rotate, not having to bring in lesser players. We can rotate at the moment, but if we want to rotate up front, we've got Isaac, we've got Adeyemi, but we also need Adeyemi for the right. We've got Fabio Silva. We're then falling into the likes of like the Malion and the Nontos, Johnny White in goal, those sort of players that are decent but aren't really Premier League Manchester City quality yet. And Watford are through on goal again here. Watford have just scored a second goal. This is frustrating. We're not even looking at this replay at the moment. We're dealing with this because Sterling, after I said he's been really good, is on a 6.2. So we're going to bring on Jack Grealish for there, I think. Bruyne's not having the best game in the world either and looking tired. Fabio Silva's looking tired, so we'll bring on Alexander Isaac there. We will make another substitution in a minute, but I think this game is pretty much lost now. I can't see us going and doing anything, and it's very, very irritating because we go on a decent run and we did look like we could at least get something out of this season. As it is now, I don't think there's much point coming back for the last 2 games of the season because it's going to be mathematically impossible for us to even get into the European spots if they win one more game. But I do think obviously we will come back for the FA Cup semi-final, and maybe we'll do the season review in there as well, which would then mean we can do a bit of a transfer special in the match, in the episode after that one. Jack Grealish there having a shot, which is nice, but nothing coming of it. De Bruyne is tired as well. Now I feel like we just take De Bruyne off. We bring on Mariba. Let's bring on Mariba. Mariba needs some game time. We've promised him he can play some games. He'll probably be a starter maybe next season, or at least a rotation player. He'll be coming on fairly regularly. Someone we can bring in to the side. We're going to lose 2-0 to Watford here. We've just lost 2-0 to Watford. I said earlier that match against Aston Villa would possibly be an easy one because they're down in 15th, but actually this sort of indicates we can't be sure of that. And although I'm talking about next season, I do wonder if we're going to have a job to come back to after the summer, because obviously we've promised the board we're qualified for the Europa League. They're disappointed because we're not going to do that. I think some of keeping our job might hinge on us actually winning the FA Cup and a bit of silverware. Globally, in terms of club culture, they are happy. We could make more out of set pieces, but I think they'll live without that. We're working within the wage budget. It's very much just end of current season. We haven't qualified for Europa League, and next season we need to work towards winning the Premier League, and we need to probably be doing that right from the start of the season, or I don't think we'll be at Man City much longer. And despite their problems, I quite like to be at Man City a little bit longer, because I do think we can build a decent team here and start challenging for that Champions League, for that Premier League very, very soon. It's not going to take a huge amount of transfers, I don't think. If you did enjoy today's episode, of course, please do drop a like down below. And if you want to follow along as we rebuild Manchester City in this save, then please do hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. We're trying to reach 100 subscribers, and it would be very, very much appreciated. Until next time though, guys, if you want to have a look at a bit more content on the channel, have a look at the video that's on screen now, and I will see you over on the next one. Bye bye.